So autism for me, it's who I am. You know, I never really saw it as this secondary thing of, you know how some people describe it as person with autism. Well, I am autistic. It is who I am. I have always been this way, and I will always be this way. You know, so for me, it's just who I am. My strengths come from being able to see the world in a different perspective and being able to do things in a certain way that others might not even have thought about. You know, yeah, I still struggle with social cues or not always understanding what's appropriate. And I think my biggest one is trying to please others instead of myself. I was picked on a lot. You know, I'm the kid who's got big, massive curly hair and doesn't understand social cues, so I might as well have walked around with a sign on my head saying, pick me. So, primary school, short story, was a bit of a nightmare. Once I got to secondary school, however, things kind of started to change. I actually went to Bamborough School in South Tyneside. And, you know, Bamborough School, it's a specialist school. We all understood each other on some level in an environment where being different was the norm. The transition period in itself, everyone's kind of in the same boat of, you know, we've been to secondary school, now it's different because now we're at college. But for me, it was more so because Bamborough, as I said, had pupils of around 160. Now I'm going to South Tyneside College, which has 3,000 pupils on a campus. And it's like, you know, this is a massive, massive change for me. So I've found myself being very depressed, not wanting to be there, waking up with anxiety that would make us physically sick because I was just so upset at how everything had kind of just happened. But as far as tutors being aware of me being autistic goes, that's not the case at all. At that point, I had been at the college for a year. And I specifically remember it. It was a parents' evening of sorts, you know, just like a progress thing that me mum came to with us so that she could hear how I'm getting on and stuff that I'm doing. You know, just typical parents' evening. And I specifically remember one of my tutors was saying something about how I can be easily distracted in class and, you know, talking to people and stuff like that. Well, my mum didn't necessarily see the talking to people as an issue because, again, with me being autistic, that's kind of a good thing, the fact that I'm able to socialize with people as easily as I am. But there was some sort of comment that was said, I can't remember exactly, but my mum kind of just had this aha moment and she went, you do realise Lauren's autistic, right? And they all kind of looked at each other because there was three of them and they were like, what are you talking about? And I specifically remember after that, one of my tutors turned around and said, well, that explains some of your Laurenisms. Someone had just been blatantly ableist to me face and didn't even recognise it as being ableist. They thought they were being funny. I had this one tutor in particular, and she was just lovely. And I specifically, because I had built this thing in my head of me being autistic, I turned around to her and I said, well, I'm autistic. Is that going to be a problem? And it was me saying that, is that going to be a problem? Because I've built up this thing of, you know, it must be me. I must be the issue. And she turned around and said, why would that be a problem? But of 2022, I graduated with my master's degree in design as well. So I've actually created my own book from my master's. The book is called It's Okay to Be Me. It's all about my experiences as an autistic person through drawing form, and wrote it specifically for 10-year-old me, because 10-year-old me didn't have that. 10-year-old me didn't have that reassurance that it was all right to be exactly who I was. I think what I would like colleges, schools, any place of education to take on board is to listen to the actually autistic people. What I would like to see is for autistic people to just be allowed to get on with it. Because when you allow us to do that, and when you give us the tools we need to thrive, we succeed.